everyone, today I'm sharing a video of me making my easy rice bake casserole. Well, it's not my recipe, it's a recipe that I like to make a lot. It's super easy to put together. It makes for a really great side dish with a lot of different recipes. It does bake in the oven, so I try to make it with something that I'm going to be cooking on the stove top, or things like that, so that I'm not using both. So you basically just start with 2 large eggs, 1 cup of milk, and you just uh, beat those together until they're really well combined. In the meantime, before I even start doing this, I have rice already prepared because you need 4 cups of cooked rice for this recipe. So I already have that ready to go. In the meantime, you do preheat the oven to 350 degrees because you're going to end up putting this in the oven after you have it all together. So here I am adding the rice to the mixture. Um, I will have a link to my meal plan podcast episode where I made this recipe, or at least my most recent one at the time of recording this. And there's a link in that meal plan episode to this actual recipe if you're interested in following the exact recipe along. So once you get the rice mixed in with the milk and the eggs, you're going to add 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. So I'm just measuring this really quick and just kind of getting it in there. I wound up just barely having just enough cheese to make for the 2 cups because I was just using like what I had left in my fridge. So then you add the cheese in there, and then you also add frozen chopped spinach, but you have to defrost it and you have to squeeze the water out. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but what I do, which is why this box looks totally flat, is I just squeeze the box itself. Like once it's defrosted, I just kind of hold the box over the sink and I just squeeze it until most of the water comes out, and then I just kind of open it up and put it all into the mixture, into the bowl. So it's the chopped spinach that you want to get. You'll see there's usually 2 kinds, so it's the frozen chopped spinach, and then you're just gonna mix that all in with the cheese. So you basically have the milk, the eggs, the rice, the cheese, and the spinach. You just mix that up really good until it's all combined, and then you're going to put it into a baking dish to bake. But my family all really likes this. Yeah, this is when it's pretty much all combined. Like I said, this is one of the meals that I refer to in my family's weekly meal plan on my podcast. If you're not familiar with it, it's Lola's Frugal Life podcast. And each week I share the meal plan that I'm going to be making for my family for that week. So to go along with that, I decided to try to start making some more of these cooking videos so that you can actually see what some of the meals look like and then see kind of how easy they are to put together. I try to usually do easier meals, things that taste really good and that are on the easier side to make. So then I'm just adding some salt here. I forget if you add pepper. We will see in 1 second because I can't remember. I think there might be. Maybe I just did salt. Sometimes I just kind of modify. Oh, I did do pepper. Okay, so salt and pepper. Sometimes I skip ingredients. You'll notice I don't always make the recipes exactly as called for, but this one I think I actually do follow it exactly. That's why I also share the link to my podcast episode, which has a link to the exact recipes. That way, if you want to follow along with it exactly as it's written and not take some of the shortcuts or skip some of the ingredients that I do sometimes, you can do that. So then, yeah, you just take this and you just put it into a prepared baking dish. That is, I forget the size of this baking dish, but it's the smaller one. It's not an 11 by 13. It's like the next size down, and that kind of fits perfectly for this recipe. So you just put it in the pan. You just kind of spread it out so that it's kind of relatively even. And then once you get that laid out in the pan nice and even, then you're just going to top it with some more shredded cheese just to kind of cover the top. And then you wind up baking it in the oven for 45 minutes. So again, like I said, super, super easy to make. It does take a little bit of time though, so you just want to make sure you plan that into your meal plan. So while I'm topping this, yeah, I just want to mention, like I said before, this is part of my podcast, but my podcast is only partially about, meal planning. I think meal planning is really important, so I share my family's meal plan every Wednesday, but I also do episodes every Monday, um, about time management and money management topics. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to check out my podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts. There's uploads on my YouTube channel of all my episodes. So here's the finished product. Check out the podcast if you're interested, and thank you so much for checking in.